Alberta first became a province on September 1st, 1905, and to commemorate that day and celebrate the province, the government of Alberta designated September 1st Alberta Day, and the city of Lloydminster is preparing to celebrate the day here locally.
It's a time to celebrate all things Alberta. September 1st is the first ever Alberta Day, and events are going to be taking place into the weekend. Two big events are planned in Edmonton and Calgary, but there's also things happening here in the border city, including a fireworks show on Saturday. I'm joined today with Mayor Gerald Albers to talk a little bit more about what's planned here locally. Mayor Albers, when are these fireworks taking place, and what do people need to know?
We are pleased and excited to host fireworks to celebrate Alberta Day, something that recently was proclaimed by the government of Alberta. So people were asking people to come out to Bud Miller Park before 9 o'clock. Fireworks will go off at 9 o'clock. We're going to have food trucks available for people to come and enjoy from 7 till 9 at Bud Miller Park. And there's many good viewing spots throughout the park to see the fireworks. Just remind people that parking is going to be at a bit of a premium, and we encourage them to take advantage of the Lakeland College parking lot as well as the Bud Miller parking lot. But again, be very cautious. We're going to have families out and lots of young children, so we just want to make sure that people take their time and watch where they're going.
Hopefully the weather cooperates for us. There is parking nearby. People just have to show up, sit down, and enjoy the show.
Absolutely. Bring, if you're going to pack a lawn chair or bring a blanket, find a nice comfortable spot on the grass. It is a little crunchy these days with a little less rain, but it should be a beautiful evening. Mother Nature will take care of the weather, and we're hoping if it continues this way, it'll be nice and very pleasant from that perspective.
Now, this is the first ever Alberta Day. The provincial government decided this year to put this in place. Can you talk a little bit more about how all this came to be able to have this fireworks show here in Lloydminster and really celebrate this new holiday?
So the province reached out to all communities, I understand, and we were given the opportunity to apply for a grant. So they are providing a grant of $10,000 that will help pay for the fireworks at Bud Miller Park. It's, each community is going to celebrate it differently. They've got a whole weekend schedule, I believe, in Edmonton and Calgary, but we were given fairly short notice. We've got a very busy summer just leading into the fall, and the city administration felt that this might be a great way to bring forward some celebrations within our city that could be organized in a reasonable fashion without everybody literally scurrying, trying to make something happen. So, people enjoy fireworks in our city. We've known about the fireworks at different times, so it'll be really exciting to have that. And it's a great way to transition truly from summer as it ends and people are getting back to school, both public school, high school, and university, but also to transition to that fall season. So it's great to be able to use a facility such as Bud Miller Park and make it all happen. So it came together with some planning on the city's side, as well as working with the government of Alberta and their grant money.
Now, this is something we talk about quite a bit. Lloydminster is obviously in a unique situation, being a border city, half Alberta, half Saskatchewan. Can you talk about the importance of Lloydminster coming together to celebrate Alberta, even though some people in this city don't live in Alberta?
Our city is so unique, and some people say that word gets used more than it should, but it is. There's nowhere else in Canada, if not in the United States, as simply a piece of street separates two provinces. So, as a city, we always try to look at the city as a whole, one piece, and everybody's welcome. If you are on the Saskatchewan side, don't feel slighted that it's Alberta Day, because it's also, the government of Saskatchewan hasn't taken that initiative yet. And it may happen, it may not, but we're celebrating the birth of our province, really, is what we're doing on that weekend on the 3rd. So, it created the community that we have today, Lloydminster, Alberta, Lloydminster, Saskatchewan, but at the end of the day, one city. And, I encourage people to come out and enjoy, because we've went through a tough 2 years. Let's take advantage of every opportunity we have to celebrate and be together as a community.
Thank you so much, Mayor Albers, for giving us some time today.
With the summer heat lingering, it's important to make sure you're staying out of the harsh sun, and just as important to keep safe is our lovely pets. Marcus Taylor has more on the continued heat and how to make sure your animals are staying safe.
So I just wanted to say thanks so much, Tamara, for joining me today, and we really appreciate you coming on to talk about this.
No problem.
So obviously right now we're kind of in a little bit of a heat spell. What are the main dangers when it comes to pets out in the heat?
Yeah, so definitely a few dangers. In our small animals, biggest thing we worry about are things like heat stroke. A lot of people are getting out and about, going camping this time of year, trying to enjoy the heat, and they're most commonly bringing their pets with them at this time of year as well, so they can get out and enjoy it too. And so, a few things that we do have to be pretty worried about in these guys, especially dogs and cats that are potentially predisposed to not managing this heat very well. We always worry about them getting heat exhaustion or heat stroke. Just like humans, they can definitely get overheated and dehydrated potentially from spending too much time out there. And so that's something we got to watch pretty closely. A couple other things that we got to watch for as well. And funny enough, when you guys contacted us, we are just actually putting some news out there ourselves on our Facebook page about blue-green algae. There's some blooms going on right now, and we actually had our first couple cases of blue-green affecting cattle as well as some small animals too. So that's another thing that we're having to watch pretty closely with this heat causing those blooms.
So what are some of the symptoms of like overheating?
Mostly most dogs are going to show you that they're exhausted, are showing signs of heat exhaustion by having panting, increased respiratory rate. A lot of dogs will salivate excessively as well. Some dogs actually show it with GI upset, and so extreme vomiting, extreme diarrhea. Of course, we get to some cases where it's a little bit more severe. They're disorientated, they're collapsing, and their seizures can all happen from heat stroke. Of course, if they see anything like this, please contact the vet immediately. I know ourselves and Veer's Vet Clinic also has emergency lines, so definitely contacting a clinic is crucial. But the biggest thing is cooling them, right? And so if you're worried about heat stroke, cooling your dog down, get them out of the sunlight. If they're conscious and doing okay, get them some water, let them drink a few things. They say that the most important way of cooling a dog is evaporative cooling, so misting them with water and then letting a fan go on them. A lot of people want to put like wet towels or wet shirts on them. Don't do that. That actually contains the heat. And so you want to wet them. You don't want to hold the heat in. And then, of course, making your way to the clinic as soon as possible is probably the most important part.
Thanks so much for coming on here and joining me to talk about this. I really appreciate it, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Yeah, absolutely. It's no problem at all. I'm glad we were able to have a quick meeting here, and yeah, hopefully this helps a few people out.
Well, it was another nice warm day here in Lloydminster and around our region. With more on our weather forecast, let's check in with Shelby Clark.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jace Mackey. Yes, I'm glad we're getting that reminder out there for all the pet owners. Please make sure your pets are staying safe, because, I'm always making sure that everybody's, staying hydrated and finding, using that sunscreen and finding shade when needed. But, definitely got to watch out for your pets out there as well. So I'm glad we did get that reminder out there. But now looking at your weather forecast here in the border city, we are sitting at that 31 today. So definitely seeing another scorcher like we were expecting. Seeing a mixture of some sun and clouds. We did see some cloud coverage throughout the day, but you could still feel that sun beaming down on you. So it is pretty much a scorcher still out there today. So hopefully everybody is enjoying it, because we will be cooling down tomorrow, unfortunately, but then picking it back up after that. Switching over to temperatures across the region for Alberta and Saskatchewan, most spots are kind of following suit with us here in the border city, with that around a 30-degree mark right now in some spots. Over in Edmonton and Vegreville at 30 degrees. Most here, St. Paul, Bonneville, and Cold Lake just at that 29-degree mark. 27 up in Lac La Biche, so Lac La Biche is looking slightly cooler compared to the rest, and we go a bit lower, and they start to warm up from there. 32, 33 for Wainwright and Vermilion, and down in Provost, they're at 34 degrees. So definitely seeing that heat warning in effect, especially in the Lloydminster, Vermilion, Wainwright, and Provost area, and some spots across the region for sure. Switching over to our Saskatchewan side, we are seeing some warm temperatures matching with us on the Alberta side. Seeing those 30s and 29s in most spots over on this end. Up in Isle Cross, they're just at 28 degrees. Go a bit lower, they kind of follow suit as well with that warm streak, with that 31 in Maidstone, 32 in North Battleford, and Macklin has reached 35. So Macklin is seeing some definitely major scorcher today for sure. And for North Battleford, they will be going down to a low of 13 and seeing that 27 tomorrow, so they won't be seeing too bad of a temperature tomorrow throughout the day with a mixture of some sun and cloud. Cold Lake will be going down to a low of 15, so seeing a nice warmer temperature for their evening low, those double digits definitely. Then seeing 22, so cooling down throughout the day, seeing a little bit more sun peeking behind those clouds. And for us here in the border city, going down to a low of 15, seeing some nice conditions throughout the evening, then seeing 24 tomorrow. So we will be cooling down, but still seeing not too bad of a day for tomorrow with a mixture of some sun and cloud. And ending off with a couple photos from Noah Colmer. It's one of my buddies here. Gave us some pictures here over at Misty Ridge, over at Buck Lake. Beautiful shots. Look like got some nice photos there. Watch the sunset. Absolutely loved it. Thank you so much for these, Noah. Absolutely glorious. Love seeing those colors in the sky. And that's all I have for now. We'll have more coming up after the break.
We're taking a look at the world of sports now. The Lloydminster Barons Football Club are preparing for a new season with some new changes. Adil Ahmed has more.
The Lloydminster Barons football team are gearing up for another season on the gridiron. And with a new season comes with new plays in the playbook.
I was working in the off season trying to really best fit putting our athletes in the best position to get the ball and putting them in positions for success. So yeah, that's what we're looking forward to. It's not going to be anything crazy new or crazy different, but you know, for the guys, it's a little bit different terminology, but they're picking it up quickly. They had spring camp and now we've got fall camp.
Learning and memorizing the playbook is crucial for the entire team. That even includes Riley Richardson, who's the team's starting quarterback and linebacker, and says he's grateful to be playing on both ends of the field.
I'm pumped, honestly. I'm extremely blessed to be able to play on both sides of the ball. You know, just even the coaches just letting me have that ability. Like they have a lot of trust in me, so that makes me want to go out there and work even harder for them.
Another player who also needs to memorize the playbook is second-year slot back Louis Campbell, who says he's seen himself take positive strides over the last 12 months.
After the first season, it was pretty good. I got injured, so I had a lot of rest. I came to the field in the summer, worked out with my friends, played some football, got better.
Aside memorizing the playbook, it's also imperative that the team's veterans remember one more thing: to be leaders as well.
Guys that are already here, we have to be more leaders to show these guys like how to play Barons football, you know, what the program's all about. And we need to step up every single day and show them what the expectation is, so that when they get their rookies to come in, they do the exact same thing and the cycle just continues.
The Barons will continue on with training camp before they play their first game of the season here at home on Friday, September the 2nd against the Belrose Bulldogs. Adil Ahmed, Primetime, Local Sports.
And now as we head to break, let's take a look at some of our Pet of the Day photo submissions. Thanks to everyone who shared them so far this week, and you can do so on our Facebook page.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to have them featured on Pet of the Day. Your name will be entered into a weekly draw for a gift certificate from the Pet Pad.
Joining us today for Primetime Local News is Courtney, Emily, and Rebecca, students at Lakeland College that are in the firefighting emergency training program. And you, along with some of your other students, have started up this charity car wash that's supposed to be coming up in September. Thank you all so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
We're really glad to be able to have all three of you on here to be able to speak about this. It's so nice to hear about a new charity car wash that's going to be coming up. Some nice positive news here in the community. So how did you and some of the other students come up with this idea initially?
Yeah, we were just kind of talking in dorms one night actually, and we decided as firefighters in training, we wanted to start encompassing the idea of fire community and that becoming a part of a community. So we all think that being a part of the fire service means being a part of your community. So we wanted to start acting on that while we're here in training.
And none of us are really from Vermilion. We all sort of come from small towns. So Vermilion is a small town in itself, and it's not necessarily our small town, but it still has that really strong bond and connection. And we kind of just wanted to give back to the community and say thanks for welcoming us into your community and let us continue our education here.
And for people that may not know how this works, can you kind of explain how people can get involved and how this will kind of plan out?
Yeah, we're hoping Friday the 9th around 3 o'clock that people can just swing by. They can kind of drive a loop around the training center and we can tell them a little bit about what happens here. And then we'll bring them into the facility that we call the U. We'll drive them around and wash their cars, and there will be a little station for kids to maybe shoot a fire hose if they want and that kind of stuff.
And from this charity car wash, for donations, exactly what will the proceeds be going towards?
So the donation is for Hearts for Hands. Emily actually talked to the organizer. She's local in Vermilion, and she basically gives back to those who can't, if they're struggling and they need a little bit of help, they come to her. She provides them with food, laundry, essentials for about a month, and she's been doing that for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna donate to her and help her out a little bit. So it's kind of nice that she's local, and I think the three of us will go and see her.
Yeah.
And talk to her a bit. She's a very nice lady.
Yeah,
So,
she's a really cool
yeah.
lady. The organization is Hearts to Hands.
Hearts to Hands.
Yeah. But yeah, I had a really good chat with her. She creates care packages and it's all local to Vermilion here. So
Yeah, that's why we sort of chose it, because it's all local. We know exactly where the money is going to, and we know that the money is going to people who truly need it, and she can assess that when she gets her donation.
And, with this new idea, it's a really great idea, and I'm sure you're going to be seeing lots of support. So once you see that strong support for this coming up in September, do you expect to be able to have this annually or having it more times throughout the year?
We are being told that this is the first time that our
Yeah.
P2 class has ever done a fundraiser. So hopefully someone will carry on the tradition and it would be an annual thing.
Perfect. I'm really glad I'm able to speak with all three of you to kind of help get the word out there of what this charity car wash is all about. And for people that may want to find more information online, just in case, they may have missed this and they just want to make sure they're prepared for when it comes up here, where can they go online to look for it?
the Lakeland College app will have it, as well as the Lakeland College website will have it posted somewhere. I don't know exactly where. And then we're also gonna have flyers around town in grocery stores and gas stations and that stuff.
I guess we can sort of thank the college, because the college has been super supportive. They're all about orientating to the students, and they provide a lot of services here. So we definitely feel welcome coming from all across Canada. It's really nice to feel at home here. We kind of just had the idea, and then the school kind of ran with it and done all the planning and stuff. So it's going really, really smoothly. So yeah, I guess we just wanted to thank the school and supporting us for this charity event for sure.
Awesome. Well, I'm really glad we're able to speak on this to all three of you and help get the word out on this charity car wash. So hopefully you will see that strong support, but I'm sure you will. It's a really great idea. So once again, thank you to all three of you for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Thank you so much, Mayor Copeland, for being here today to talk a bit more about the update to the animal bylaw.
Yeah, you're welcome. Glad to discuss what's going on in Cold Lake.
So what exactly brought the bylaw forward for discussion to council?
Well, right now, when you work for a municipal government, you always bring on council. They're always bringing forward different bylaws to look at, to review, to make, to maybe tune things up, modernize them. But we're also in the transition right now where the city is building an animal intake center, and so it was time that we looked at our bylaws, and so we're pretty excited. We're going to have a brand new building that the animals can go into when they're brought to the shelter, and then and it's a really beautiful building that we're really proud of what got built there.
The 2023 licensing fee will not be required for pet owners in Cold Lake to get next year. Why did council make this decision?
Well, it's free is good. So the idea here is that, no excuses not to have your pet license. It allows the city a good understanding of how many cats and dogs there actually are in Cold Lake. It gives you a database. But more importantly is if your pet is lost and it's brought to the intake center, it can easily be returned to you. So the idea is to just have people come forward and bring your pets, get them licensed up, and it's all free in 2023.
The remainder of the 2022 licensing fees, they're going to be waived. How are you going to let owners who haven't maybe renewed and need to do that, or just new pet owners, how does council let people know that those fees are now waived?
The city puts it out on their website, probably utility bills, and might put a little notice in there. But doing interviews like with yourself, just getting the word out. That's really, that's what it's all about. Spreading the good word and having people come forward. Some people are reluctant to license their pets. That's unfortunate, but we really want to get a good understanding of how many animals are actually in Cold Lake, and this is like having it free. There's really no excuses, right?
So what do you think this new update to the bylaw, what do you think it will mean to community members in Cold Lake?
Well, what it does, it just sort of sets kind of the rules inside your municipality, and we get a lot of people that complain about dog barking or cats running loose or whatever. Some people like to bring in exotic pets and stuff. So really, the bylaws will be posted in the city, right? And so we got to sort of adapt to where the community is going, and we just wanted refresh. We do get a lot of, like I said earlier, a lot of complaints about dogs barking or dogs running loose in the community. And so just have a set of rules, and then the bylaw officers then have policies, rules, bylaws to enforce the community standard.
How long has it been since the bylaw was updated?
Over 10 years. So, the city CEO, Kevin Nagoya, and the staff, they're always looking at all of the policies in the municipality, because really there's a lot of policies that run a municipality. It doesn't matter if it's Cold Lake, and it's good to refresh, especially bring it forward every 3 or 4 council terms. So every 10 years, bring stuff forward, and making sure sometimes when they bring policies forward, it's just basically fixing a little bit of grammar, and we're not doing big wholesale changes. So it's your job when you're elected on council to look at the sort of the rules of your municipality. So that's basically what we've done here in terms of the animals that are inside, that residents have inside the Cold Lake.
I know this is a very new update to the bylaw, but has anybody already come in bringing their animal to get it licensed now that there's no fee?
I'm sure it happens every day. I mean, we want to encourage people to do that and step forward and get your pet license. I'm sure people now are. They always have been. So, during COVID, people were very reluctant to come in, of course. But now I think that's one of the reasons also why it's free, is that we really want to get people coming out back into and register their animals.
Well, thank you so much again for talking about this update with me.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Ending off with taking another quick look at your 7-day forecast. We will be seeing it drop a little bit tomorrow with 24, having a nice cool off day there after having some scorchers, then warming it back up for a long weekend. 26 Friday, seeing those 30s for Saturday and Sunday, so get ready. We're seeing a beautiful long weekend ahead here in the border city. Ending off that weekend on a warm note with 28, with a lot more of a sunnier day, then continuing that warm streak into next week with next Tuesday and Wednesday, seeing that 26 on both days with a mixture of some sun and cloud.
Thank you so much for that, Shelby. It's going to be a hot weekend. Looking forward to that. Thank you all so much for joining us for First Hour Primetime Local News. Stay with us. Our second hour continues next.